the decorating?
Friends.
You didn't hire a company to come and do the decorating?
No,
Kind
no.
of try to keep costs down?
We pulled everybody together and everybody joined in. Her friends helped with more of the decorating. Mine helped more with setting things up.
And when you say her friends, you mean
I'm
your
sorry.
wife,
I'm sorry. Yes, Angie.
Angie Wright?
Yes,
Who did the catering?
we did.
And when you say we, you mean you and Mrs. Wright?
Yes. I have a friend. Is this what you're asking me? I'm sorry.
I'm
Yeah,
just,
okay.
the better
How it
question
came
was,
about.
how did y'all get food for the wedding?
Okay. I have a friend who owns a small grocery mart with a deli in it. He let me use his wholesale food account to buy the everything that we needed. He didn't buy it for us. I bought it just using his wholesale account. He also was nice enough to let me store these boxes of meat. We had multiple cases of hot dogs and hamburgers and all, whatever else we were going to eat. So he let us keep it in his cooler as well as let us buy it through him.
And what kind of cooler did he have that enabled you to be able to store boxes of meat, hot dogs, burgers, and other stuff in it?
It was a big walk-in cooler like a restaurant has. I think the front side of it is actually where you open the doors to get soda and stuff out of, and then the back is all, storage.
And is this cooler located in some kind of a business?
Yes, it's inside of his little mart, his little store. It's called Neighborhood Grocery, is the actual name of the store.
So since he's a grocer, he had access to being able to buy food at wholesale,
Yes.
and he let you benefit from his wholesale discount.
Yeah, he gave me his card and told me to go get whatever I needed. We paid for it then.
Now, is the neighborhood grocery or neighborhood grocer, is that near the park where your wedding was?
I live out in the country, so near to me is probably different than near to most people.
Well,
It's about 20 minutes.
And by Florida standards, let me back up and clarify my use of the word near. Can you walk from neighborhood? Is it a short walk from neighborhood grocery to the park where your wedding was?
No, it was about a 20-minute drive.
And by Hillsborough standards, a 20-minute drive is near.
It's almost to the nearest fast food restaurant.
So the food that was in your friend's cooler was supposed to be used in your wedding at the park.
Yes.
How was the food going to get from the wedding to the park?
When we left the house that morning,
Or I'm sorry, how was the food supposed to get from the neighborhood grocer to the wedding at the park?
that morning when we left the house everybody got together at the park. I made the detour over to the grocery store to pick up the meat on the way to the park. I had a friend that was helping, so we picked the meat up and then joined everybody else at the park.
And when you got to the park, did you realize that you had all of the meat?
Well, when we got to the park, I thought we had it all. That was the reason for the interruption in our conversation where we were getting dressed, was that they couldn't find a whole case of hot dogs, which is the first thing they were going to put on the grill. We also had a pavilion that was set up for eating and all of that. We have a friend who always does all the cooking. He has his own smoker and all that stuff for any kind of gatherings that we have. So the idea was that they were going to get the food on while the ceremony was going on, so that it would all be ready after.
Okay. So, your conversation with Mr. Sievers is interrupted because it's realized that there's some meat missing.
Yes.
Does somebody need to go get that meat?
Yeah. The first thing I did was I called TK is my friend's name.
The,
The owner.
This is the friend with the grocery store?
Yes, the owner of the grocery. And so I called him to find out if it was there, if somehow it get left. He went in and checked, and he told me that it was there. So the next choice was, or the next decision was, who's going to go get it. So Mark, I was with Mark when I made these phone calls, and he suggested that he take me over. I didn't have my car there. He had a rental from when he come into town. He offered to drive me back over to TK's to pick up that meat.
And so did Mr. Sievers, in fact, drive you to pick up the meat?
Yes,
Did anybody go with you
it was just he and I.
in his rental car?
Yes,
And you said it was about, you said that the grocery store where the meat was about 20 minutes away from the park?
yes,
And I'm guessing once you get to the grocery store and pick up the meat, it's another 20-minute drive back to the park?
yeah. It's
So you
15.
had at least 40 minutes alone with Mr. Sievers?
Yes.
So during the drive to the store to pick up the meat, was there another discussion about his problems, his marital problems?
Yes, the conversation the ongoing conversation continued again once we got in the car.
And what was the conversation? What was the conversation about as you drove to pick up the missing case of hot dogs?
He brought up the fact again that he had no other choices. I made some different, offered some suggestions, really kind of the same ones over again, but he said that there was no other options. He didn't have any other options to protect his daughters than to have Teresa killed.
So, in the previous discussion at the park, you said you thought Mr. Sievers wanted to have whoever this person was who was having an affair with Dr. Sievers roughed up. But now, during the ride to pick up the hot dogs, he says that he has no choice but to have his wife killed.
Yes. He said the only option that he had was for her to die, and then he said, I need to have her killed.
Well, why is he telling you this? Let me ask a better question. Why was he telling you that he needed to have his wife killed?
He was asking me to help him to either do it or to facilitate it getting done.
Okay, so on the day of your wedding, your best friend is asking you to help him kill the wife and mother of his children.
Yeah.
Did you agree to help him? Well, let me back up. What kind of help was he asking for?
He asked me to have her killed. So,
So, when you say have her killed, was he asking you to do it yourself or get somebody to do it for him?
either. He wanted me to take care of it, either to do it myself or find someone else, but he wanted me to be the in-between person so that there was no contact between him and if there was another person.
Did you agree to do it?
No,
Why not?
because it kind of caught me off guard. I didn't really know how to answer him. I left it with that I would see what I could do.
Did you give him any more advice at this point? Mark, don't kill your wife. Don't do it. Did you give him any more friendly advice at this point?
I'm sure that I asked him if that was really necessary, if he was sure, like that. I don't remember exactly what I said, but that would have been what would have come out of my mouth.
Now, at some point, based on what you've told us earlier, you made the decision to do what Mr. Sievers was asking you to do, right?
Yes.